شابرا وخلق الماء وترى وعبد كل شيء مدرا لا يغيب عن بصره صغير النمل إذا سرح ولا يعصب عن علمه مثقال ذرة في الأرض ولا في السماء له ما في السماوات وما في الأرض وما بينهما وما تحت الثرى وإن تجهر له بالقول فإنه يعلم السر وأخفى الله لا إله إلا هو له الأسماء الحسنى ثم الصلاة والسلام على أشرف الأنبياء والمرسلين نبينا محمد صلوات الله عليه والسلام وعلى آله وأصحابه وذريته ومن تبعهم بإحسان إلى يوم الدين وبعد السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته.
وعليكم السلام ورحمة الله وبركاته.
We give glory to Allah Ta'ala, who in His infinite mercy have made it easy and possible for us to converge here this morning in this place, one of the best places before Allah Ta'ala, as confirmed in the tradition of Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. In this day, one of the days created by Allah Ta'ala, in order to remind ourselves and also learn the best of all before Allah Ta'ala, which is about Islam. We ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to count us among those that Allah's mercy will be bestowed upon. May we be part of those who Allah will admit into Jannah without hisab or iqab. And also we want to use this medium to thank our Shaykh and also seek for his forgiveness, to apologize for taking his time. May Allah Ta'ala reward him abundantly. May Allah Ta'ala protect and also count him among those who lead us into Jannah. We ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to guide and protect his family too. Just as we say, inshallah al-Kareem, our Shaykh, this morning in person of Sheikh Muhammad AL-KASIM with Kunya Abu JAMLA, is going to discuss a very important topic to the life of the women, which is the rules, Islamic rules on blood in Islam. It depends on the blood, either menstrual period, postpartum and other bloods. We ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to guide him to see what is right and proper, and also take out from our heart whatever he sees that is a mistake. May Allah ta'ala forgive him his shortcomings and also grant him knowledge and important knowledge to the society and to his family too. So inshallah al-Kareem, Sheikh is going to start the discussion now. May Allah ta'ala reward him abundantly. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah.
Wa alaikum assalam wa rahmatullah. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. Innal hamdalillah nahmaduhu wa nasta'inuhu wa nastaghfiruh wa na'udhu billahi min shururi anfusina wa min sayyiati a'malina. Man yahdihillahu fala mudilla lahu wa man yudlil fala hadiya lahu. Wa ashhadu an la ilaha illallah wahdahu la sharika lahu. وأشهد أن محمدا عبده ورسوله يا أيها الذين آمنوا اتقوا الله حق تقاته ولا تموتن إلا وأنتم مسلمون يا أيها الناس اتقوا ربكم الذي خلقكم من نفس واحدة وخلق منها زوجها وبث منهما رجالا كثيرا ونساء واتقوا الله الذي تساءلون به والأرحام إن الله كان عليكم رقيبا يا أيها الذين آمنوا اتقوا الله وقولوا قولا سديدا يصلح لكم أعمالكم ويغفر لكم ذنوبكم ومن يطع الله ورسوله فقد فاز فوزا عظيما أما بعد فإن أصدق الحديث كتاب الله وخير الهدي هدي محمد صلى الله عليه وسلم وشر الأمور محدثاتها فإن كل محدثة بدعة وكل بدعة ضلالة وكل ضلالة في النار. Alhamdulillah, once again we thank Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, the cherisher, the nourisher and the sustainer of the worlds, the one whom out of his infinite mercy has granted us this privilege of converging in a house among his houses, not for the purpose of worldly benefit, but to strengthen our relationship with Him and to be uplifted spiritually. We beseech Allah Ta'ala that whatever we shall be discussing today, may Allah Subhanahu wa Ta'ala make it a beneficial one. Respected ones, I want to start by apologizing to each and every one of us for not being present last week as promised. The scholars used to say, Al-'udhru 'inda kiramin nasi maqbul wa antunna min kiramin nas insha'Allah. They used to say that whenever excuse and apology is tendered before honorable people, they normally accept that apology and that excuse. I want to believe that each and every one of us have accepted my apology. Jazakumullahu khaira. The topic of discussion is a very, very, very important and essential topic, especially in the life of the Muslim women. Al-Imam Ahmad ibn Muhammad al-Shaybani, according to what Al-Sheikh Muqbil ibn Hadi al-Wadi'i al-Yamani actually brought in Nasihati li-Talabat al-Ilm, Al-Imam Ahmad said that makathtu fi bab al-hayd 9 sinin. He said, I spent 9 years studying this particular chapter we want to discuss. Imam Ahmad said he spent 9 years studying this particular chapter. That is to tell you how difficult and how in-depth this particular chapter is. We pray that Allah Subhanahu wa Ta'ala grant us conformity in whatever we shall be discussing on this particular topic. We are going to be using a book to discuss this particular topic. This book, I actually compiled it when I had a workshop with MCAM, North Central. So I hope that we are going to benefit from this particular book. And I pray that Allah Subhanahu wa Ta'ala grant us the ability to comprehend whatever we shall be discussing. To start with, the blood that comes out from the private part of women, or from the private part of the woman, is divided into 3. The blood that comes out from the private part of the woman is divided into how many? Into 3. We have Dammul Hayd. That is the one you call the menstrual blood. We also have Dammul Nifas, the one you call the postpartum bleeding. We also have Dammu al-Istihada. That is the hyperbleeding. Now these bloods, inshallah, we are going to discuss them one after the other. To start with, Dammul Hayd, menstrual blood. Al-Hayd, in Arabic language, the scholar said it means Saylanu Shay wa Jaryanuhu, is the flowing and the pouring of something. That is what the Arab, when you hear the Arab say Hayd, what they mean linguistically is what? The flowing and the pouring of what? Of something. But according to the terminology of the Islamic scholars, when they say hayd, what it means is saylanu dam al-tabi'i, is the flowing of natural blood, turkhihi ar-rahim, which is discharged by the womb عند البلوغ, at the age of puberty. So that blood that is discharged by the womb at the age of puberty is what they call what? Al-Hayd. It's what they call menstrual blood. So from there, the scholar said it is understood that this menstrual blood is from the womb. It came from where? From the womb. So خَلَقَهُ اللَّهُ لِتَدْذِيَةِ الْوَلَدِ. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala created this blood for the feed of the child in the womb. Al-Allama al-Sheikh Muhammad ibn Saleh al-Uthaymin alayhi rahmatullah, he said that the wisdom behind menses could be related to the fact that the child in the womb cannot receive any food from the person that is outside the womb. It is not possible for the child to receive any food from anyone that is what? Outside what? The womb. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala then created a blood secretion which will actually carry the nutrient through what we call the umbilical cord to the child. I hope you are getting the concept now. So this particular blood was created so that what? The child will be able to what? Feed from it. And that is why whenever a woman is pregnant, she does not what? Menstruate, except in rare cases. And the scholars used to say, An-nadir kal-ma'dum shar'an. What is rare is like something that does not exist legislatively. I hope we understand. So this is one of the meaning of what? Al-haid. Some of the scholars said, no, when you say al-haid, is damun yakhruju min qa'ri rahim. It's a blood that comes out from the bottom part of the womb. Wa yakunu aswad haran ka'annahu muhtarik. And sometimes it could be a black blood, very hot, as if it's something that is what? That is burnt. I hope we are getting the concept. Al-Imam al-Qurtubi, according to what Al-Jurjani mentioned in At-Ta'rifat, likewise Abu al-Baqa al-Kafawi in Al-Kulliyat, and also Al-Imam al-Qurtubi himself brought it in his tafsir, where he's explaining Yas'alunaka anil mahid. He said that Damul Haid, he said Damul Haid aswad, khathir, tamla'uhu humra. He said the blood of haid, menstrual blood, is black. He's black, he's thick, and sometimes it has, red color at the top. It has red color mixed with it. He said that وَتُتْرَكُ لَهُ الصَّلَاةُ وَالصَّوْمُ لَا خِلَافَ فِي ذَلِكَ. So whenever you observe such blood, you stop praying, you also stop fasting. I hope you are getting it, until that blood has what? Has gone. Another scholar, some of the scholars said, but this one, they said that the blood could be black, as if it will be very hot, as if it's burnt. And this blood actually comes out after a woman has actually attained the age of puberty. It comes out within some specific period of days. Do we understand? Why some of the ulama said, when you say haid, is damun, is a blood, yakhruju min qubulil mar'a, is a blood that comes out from the private part of the women. I min aqsa rahmiha, meaning from the bottom of her womb, hala sihatiha, while she is healthy, while she is sound, min ghayri sababin, without any outside reason, like what? Wilada, childbirth, or child delivery. With the body bukaretiha, or like being deflowered. If a woman is deflowered, that blood that comes out from her private part is not what? Is not called damul haid. Likewise, if a woman actually if a woman delivers, that blood that comes from her private part is not called what? Haid. I hope you understand. So this is the explanation of some of the scholars. While some of the ulama said, no, it is damun yahduthu lil untha. It's a blood that used to occur to the women, bimuqtada tabi'ah, through what we call by natural implication, biduni sababin, without any reason, fi awqatin ma'luma, and this blood comes out within a specific period of time. So these are the meaning of what? Haid, mentioned by who? The scholars. Now when you look at all these meanings, you see that they are referring to what? One thing. All of them are referring to one thing. The only difference is in the word expression. So al-muhim, haid is that blood that comes out from the womb of the woman after she has attained the age of puberty within some specific period of time. Do we understand? Do we understand? Tayyib. Inshallah, you are going to go with something new today. The ulama said a woman that is observing haid, she has 8 names. While some of the scholars said it's 10. A woman that is observing haid, she has how many names? 8 names. Some of the scholars said it's 10. A woman that is observing haid, they call her haid. When you hear a haid, meaning this woman is observing what? Haid. If they refer to her as arik, it means that what? She's observing haid. If they refer to her as farik, it means that she's observing what? Haid. If they refer to her as tanis, it means that she's observing what? Haid. If they refer to her as daris, it means that she's observing Haid. If they refer to her as Kabir, it means that she's observing Haid. If they refer to her as Dahik, it means that she's observing Haid. If they refer to her as Qamis, it means that she's observing what? Haid. If they refer to her as Asir, it means that she's observing what? Haid. So Haid, a woman that is observing Haid has 10 names. Likewise, Haid itself has how many names? 10. So among the names of Haid, we call it Haid. That is one name. The second name is what? Al-Iraq. When you hear Al-Iraq, is the same as Haid. When you hear Al-Furaq, is the same as what? Haid. When you hear Al-Qamsu, is the same as what? Haid. When you hear Ad-Daris or Ad-Diras, Ad-Diras is another name for what? Haid. When you hear Al-Ikbar, is another name for what? Haid. When you hear Ad-Dahik, is another name for what? Haid. When you hear Al-Qamthu, is another name for what? Haid. When you hear Al-Mu'sir or Al-I'sar, is another name for what? Haid. When you hear Al-Nufas, is another name for what? Haid. So Haid has how many names now? 10 names. So likewise, the woman that is observing Haid, she has how many names? 10. All these names I mentioned, there are evidences indicating them. I hope you are getting it. But because of time, we will not actually mention those evidences. Now the next thing is, when did Haid actually started? This menstrual blood, when did it started? Is it from onset, or it is something that is foreign in the life of women? When did this particular menstrual blood, when did it started? When did it start? Do we understand? Is it something that has been there right from onset, or is something that is foreign in the life of what? Women. The scholars are divided into two. The scholars are divided into how many? Into two. The first school of thought said that هو مكتوب على بنات آدم منذ خلقهن الله إلى يومنا هذا وإلى يوم القيامة. This Haid has been prescribed upon the daughters of Adam right from when Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala created them. And it will continue with them till the day of what? Qiyamah. So this particular view is telling us that what? Haid is something that is natural, is inborn. So now what is their evidence? Those who said that Haid is inborn, what is their evidence? They cited evidence with the hadith of Aisha. When Aisha was observing Hajj, she was going to observe Hajj with the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. You know, she saw a menstrual what? Period. So she began to cry. So the Prophet sallallahu then inquired from her that what happened? It's like you have seen your monthly visitor. She said yes. The Prophet sallallahu then said, Inna hadha amrun katabahu Allahu ala banati Adam. This particular blood is something that Allah has prescribed upon the children of Adam. Do we understand? So this shows that Haid is not foreign in the life of what? Women. Rather, it is what? Inborn. Do we understand? And they also cited evidence with the narration of Ibn Abbas. Ibn Abbas said, Inna ibtida al-Haid, that the beginning of Haid, kana ala Hawa, was with who? Hawa. You know Hawa, the wife of Nabiullah Adam. Ba'da an uhbitat min al-Jannah. After she was sent away, they were sent away from where? From paradise. So it was after they descended, that what? She began to observe Haid. And we know that no woman which woman preceded Hawa? No woman. And that's why they call her the mother of what? She's our mother, isn't it? Tayyib. So this is the reason why those first school of thought said that this Haid is something that is natural in the life of what? Women. Do we understand? So the second school of thought, they said, no, this Haid has never been there. Women do not know Haid. Women were not observing what? Menstruation prior to the time of the women of the children of Israel. They said this menstrual blood, it started with the what? the women of what? Israel. Do we understand? Prior to them, no woman actually observed what? Menstruation. They said because of the narration of Abdullah ibn Mas'ud. Ibn Mas'ud said that men and women used to pray together in the masjid. They used to pray together in the where? In the masjid. That is the Israelite Canaan. They used to pray together in the masjid. So the women now began to show superiority to the men. Meaning, whatever you can do, we too, we can what? We can do it. You are praying in the masjid, we too, we are praying in the masjid. You are not superior to us in any way. Do we understand? So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala then casted this blood of hide on what? On them. When he casted the blood of hide on them, he then prevented them from entering where? The masjid. Do we understand? Do we get it? So now, among these two schools of thought, which one is the correct opinion? At-Takbir. So, what do we do about this narration they brought? This narration of Abdullah ibn Mas'ud, because it's also authentic. So the scholar said the narration did not actually indicate that they were the one that started Eid. It indicated that their Eid became what? More intensive. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala made it more intensive on them when they what? When they disobeyed. So it doesn't mean that they were the one that started it. They were already doing it, but Allah made it to become what? More intensive as a result of what? Their sins. I hope we understand. I haven't understood this. Which year does a woman actually start menstruating? At what age can we say that when a woman sees blood, that blood is termed to be what? Menstrual blood. At what age? 9 years. May Allah continue to guide us. So the scholars actually, they differ. The scholars what? They differ into two schools of thoughts. Into what? Two schools of thought. Or even beyond that. Do we understand? But you can summarize it by saying they differ into two schools of thought. The first school of thought said that, which is the statement, the view of majority of the scholars. They said a woman does not start menstruation before 9 years. She does not start what? Menstruation before what? 9 years. Are we together? So what they mean is that if a woman sees blood before she reaches 9 years, then that blood is not considered as what? Menstrual blood. That blood is either a defect or a bad what? A bad blood. This is the view of the Hanafiya scholar and also the Shafi'iyya and who? And the Malikiyya. Do we understand? What is their evidence? They said, the Prophet ﷺ said, إِذَا أَتَى عَلَى الْجَارِيَةِ تِسْعُ سِنِينَ. That if a woman, a young girl, attains 9 years of age, فَهِيَ امْرَأَةٌ. She has become what? A matured woman. So this is the evidence. But I want to shock you that this hadith is not authentic. This hadith is not what? It's not authentic. So hence it's not authentic. It cannot be used as what? As evidence. Do we understand? Good. The second school of thought, they said there is no specific year, there is no specific word age for what? For Eid. There is no specific age for what? That means even if a woman is less than 6 years, if she sees blood that has the features of what? Menstrual blood, it is what? It is Eid. Why? Because Allah did not, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala did not stipulate it. Allah did not specify it with what? A particular age. Allah did not specify it with a particular age, nor a particular what? Period. So whenever a woman sees blood, as far as that blood has the future of what? Of menstrual blood, that blood is what? Is Eid. This is the view of Ibn al-Mundhir and also Ibn Taymiyyah and Sheikh Muhammad ibn Salih al-Uthaymin and others. Al-Uthaymin even said that Sahihun anna al-mar'a la tahidu ghaliban. He said it is, what is authentic is that most time women do not actually start what? Menstruation, except after they've reached or they've actually attained what? 9 years. But he now said women, they differ. based on what? Their environment, their society. I hope you are getting the concept now. There are some of the scholars who said even 6 years. A woman at the age of 6, she can menstruate. A girl at the age of 6, she can menstruate. This is a view of Abu Nasr, Muhammad ibn Salam, one of the scholars of the Hanafiya school of thought. Some of them said it's 7, that the least is what? Is 7. Some of them said it's 12. Some of them said it's what? Is 9. But what is authentic is that what? Anytime a woman sees blood, as far as that blood has the features of hide, that blood will be considered as what? As hide. Please, do we understand this? Are we getting the message? Yes. May Allah continue to guide us. Now, what is the year, the age of menopause? The age of what? Menopause. So at what age can we say if a woman sees blood, it's not blood? I mean, that blood is not considered as what? As hide. Rather, it is what? It is a bad blood or hyperbleeding. At what age? So the medical doctors, doctors, they said that the age of what? Menopause actually differs. It differs based on the environment of what? Of a woman. If the environment is a hot environment or is a what? It's a cold environment. Do we understand? So if the environment is hot, do we understand? The woman that is in a hot environment, and menopause, a period of menopause, differ from a woman that is in what? A cold environment. This is why there is no general ruling. There is no general ruling regarding when a woman will enter what? Menopause. Every scholar, they judge based on their own what? Environment. Do we get the concept? The Hanafiya scholar, like the Hanafiya school of thought, they said that the age of menopause is 55 years. Is how many years? Meaning after 55 years, any blood that woman sees is what? It's a bad blood. It's not menstrual blood. Why the Hanabila, they say it's 50 years. Meaning after 50 years, any blood that a woman sees is what? It's a bad blood. The Shafi'iyya school of thought, they said it is 62 years. Meaning after 62 years, any blood is what? It's a bad blood. The Malikiya said there is no specific word, period. And this is the most authentic view. There is no word, specific word, period. Do we understand? Because all these scholars, they judge based on their own word, society and their environment. Do we get it? Now, having understood this, how do we identify menstrual blood? How do we identify what? Menstrual blood. The menstrual blood has 4 features. It has how many features? 4. It has 4 features. 3 among these 4, the scholars unanimously agreed upon them. The last one was actually introduced by the medical doctors who are scholars. I hope you are getting the concept. The first is that the blood is black. The blood is what? Is black. We must notice this. We must note this. The blood, menstrual blood is what? Is black. The number 2 is that it's thick. Is what? Is thick. It's not a light blood. Number 3 is that it has what we call malodorous odor, meaning offensive odor. Do we understand? Number 4, which is the one added by the what? Medical doctor, it does not coagulate on time. Menstrual blood does not what? Coagulate on. We know the meaning of coagulation, It does not coagulate on time. Unlike what? When you slaughter animal, before you know, you see that the blood will what? Will become, what will merged. We stick together. So menstrual blood does not what? It does not coagulate on time. So these are the 4 features of what? Menstrual blood. Take note of this. They are very important. Do we understand? But the scholar says sometimes this blood could be red. Sometimes the blood could be what? Could be red, because that is the nature of what? Of blood. Do we understand? And sometimes It could also be yellow. All this, I don't want to enter into another field so that I will not end up confusing. I would have told us the reason why blood will be yellow, the reason why sometimes you see the blood will be brown, the reason why the blood will be cloudy color, the reason why the blood will be dusty color. All these blood, they have reasons why they are like that. Whenever you see them, they have reasons. Do we understand the concept? They have reason. I hope you are getting it. Now, but this yellow, brown, dusty color and cloud color, they are also part of what? Menstrual blood. If they come in the course of menstruation, if they come in the course of what? Menstruation. Please take note of this. If they come while you have already started menstruating, but if they come before menstruation, it's not menstrual blood. If they come while you have already started menstruating, it's what? A menstrual blood. Why did we say that? Say so? Because of the author, because of the narration of Ata. Abdul Razak brought it in his Musannaf. Ata, he said that I asked Jurej, a woman who sees yellow blood before a menstrual period, or she sees water before a menstrual period, can we consider this yellow blood or this water as menses, such that she will not observe prayer, she will not fast? He said no, she should not. It should not be considered as what? As menses. Do we understand? She should continue her prayer and continue what? Her fasting. He is afraid that is shaitan that is trying to what? Prevent her from worshipping Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Do we understand this? So if these colors are seen during menstruation, they are considered to be what? Menstrual blood. But before menstruation, they are considered not to be what? Menstrual blood. And likewise, after a woman is pure, if you are pure, either by seeing white discharge or either by, the private part being dried, if you now see any of these blood, you don't consider them again. Because of the hadith of Atiyya in Sahih al-Bukhari and others, that she said, we don't used to consider, cloudy color, yellow, and other colors as what? As menses, after we are what? We are purified, or after we have become pure. So do we understand this? How many futures does menstrual blood has? Who can mention them? Now, and it does not coagulate on what? On time. Barakallahu fikum. Now, what is the period of Haid? How many period? What is the duration? The duration of Haid. Is it 7 days? Is it 9 days? Is it 10 days? Is it 15 days? Are we together? So the scholars differ regarding the minimum and the maximum period of what? Of Haid. Are we together? The Shafi'iyya and the Anabila, when they say Shafi'iyya, the school of thought of Shafi'iyya, and the Anabila, that is the Ambaliya. So they said that it does not have any specific period in terms of the minimum or the maximum. In terms of what? Each minimum or maximum. Haid does not have any specific period. Do we understand? Do we understand? Sorry, the Shafi'iyya and the Anabila, they said that the period of Haid is what? Is 15 days. Is what? Is 15 days. So any blood you see after 15 days is not what? It's not Haid. This is the view of who? The Shafi'iyya and the Anabila. What is their evidence? Because of the cited evidence with the hadith of Ali radiyallahu ta'ala anhu. Ali said that it mazada ala khamsa ashara, what actually exceed 15 of blood is istihada, is hyperbleeding. But this hadith also is not what? Is not authentic. Are we together? So the Malikiyya, their own view, they said that this Haid does not have minimum period, but the maximum period is what? 15 days. It does not have minimum period, but the maximum period is what? 15 days. Meaning, it could just be a drop. Height could be a drop. I hope you are getting it. Al-Hanafiya, the Hanafiya school of thought, they said the minimum period is 3 days. And the maximum, 3 days at night, and the maximum period is 10 days. Minimum period is 3 days. The maximum period is what? Is 10 days. Do we understand? But my teacher said that the most superior opinion is that what? Height does not have minimum or what? Maximum period. Either from the Quran or the authentic what? Hadith. And this is the view of Ibn Hazmi and also Ibn Qudama and others. Do we understand? But I want us to take note of something here. The scholars have unanimously agreed that the maximum period of Haid is 15 days. Please take note of this. The scholars have unanimously agreed that the maximum period of Haid is what? Is 15 days for a woman whose habitual is less than 15 days. Do we understand? The maximum period of Haid is what? 15 days for a woman whose habitual is less than what? 15 days. I give you an example. For example, if a woman used to observe Haid for 5 days, this is her habitual. She's known to be observing her Haid for how many days? So all of a sudden, the days now what? Increased until it get to what? 15 days. Do we understand? So this woman will wait till that 15 days. Anything that comes outside 15 days, she will not consider it as what? As Haid. You can see that this woman already has what? Habitual. And her habitual is less than what? 15 days. So whenever she sees any blood, like we have said, if her habitual is 5 days, this is the way she used to observe her Haid before. Then all of a sudden, the 6th day, she saw blood. The 7th day again, she saw blood. Do you understand? She will wait until what? If you keep on seeing the blood till what? The 15 days, she will not pray. Then immediately after that 15 days, on the 16th day, anything that she sees as blood, she will consider it as what? She will not consider it as blood. She will consider it as hyperbleeding. As such, she will just wash herself and go and what? Go and pray. Do we understand? She will wash herself and what? And go and pray. So at this particular period in time, she will now be referring to that habitual. So every month now, she will be waiting for how many days? 5 days. Do we understand? On the 6th day, she will purify and observe her prayer. Do we get this? But if a woman, from the time she starts her blood, her menses, from the very day she starts her menses, the blood actually flows, for 17 days. Do we understand? The very day she started her menses, the blood flows for like 17 days. So she will not consider 15 days as what? As the maximum. Do we understand? So anything she sees will be considered as what? All that 17 days is what? Is Haid. So that means our own habitual is now what? 17 days. I hope we are getting the concept. That is, if the blood she's seeing has the future of the blood of what? Of Haid. Are we getting it? Likewise, if a woman, maybe her blood, her menses, her menstrual blood actually flows above 15 days. It flows above what? 15 days as a result of pause. You know, there are some women, they will pause for like 3 months or 4 months. They will not see their Haid. Do you understand? They will not see their menses. So this particular woman, if the menses come to her, it could take what? The entire month even. So she will consider all the blood that will come as what? As Haid. Do we understand it, Kwa? Do we understand it? Is it understood? No, for instance, a woman that used to observe Haid before, all of a sudden, her height did not come. She observed height from January to where? To which one was the last month? August. Go. She observed height from January to August. September she did not see. October she did not see. November, for instance, again she did not see. December she now saw. And now on habitual from January to August is how many days? 5 days. Now this December when she saw the blood, 5 days came. After 5 days, on the 6th day, she saw what? She saw blood again. The 7th day, she saw blood. The 8th, the 9th, the 10th, and to the 29th day, she saw what? Blood. If those blood have the features of height, it will be considered as what? Do we understand? This is the explanation of Al-Allama Al-Sheikh Muhammad ibn Salih Al-Uthaymin in Fatu Dhil Jalali wal Ikram, the sharh he wrote on Bulugh al-Marami. Do we understand it? My respected mothers and sisters, are we following Qua? Are we getting this message? May Allah continue to guide us. Now, so now, أقل الطهور بين الحيضتين. What is the least purification? The least purification between what? Two menstrual blood. The least purification between what? What is the gap between a menstrual blood to what? To another one. What is the gap? The scholars actually differ regarding this. I want us to learn this as a student or as students of knowledge. Do we understand? Even I would have made it like a lecture, but it's like a workshop now. Do we get? The scholars, they differ. The Anabila. Who are the Anabila? Ambaliya. Thank you. They said that the minimum period between two haid, the minimum period of purification between what? Two haid is 13 days. Is how many days? 13 days. What is their evidence? They said the woman went to meet Ali. Her husband divorced her. You know, if a woman is divorced by her husband, how many days is she going to wait? 3 menstrual cycle. 3 menstrual what? Cycle, not 3 months. 3 menstrual cycle. So this woman, within a month, she went to meet Ali that Kai. She has finished her waiting period. She has finished her what? Waiting period. Meaning, within a month, she menstruated how many times? Do we understand? Ali then said, he said, oh, no problem. They should get our relatives. They should what? Get our relatives. Someone that is sincere and has good character among our relatives. They should confirm from them. Do we understand? No, Ali then gave the judgment to Shurayh, a judge, one of the judges then. The judge then said that they should get our relatives. If they confirm that it happened like that, then they should free her. They are already what? She has already completed her waiting period. And it was confirmed, that was how it is. That she menstruated how many times? So that means that what? The minimum period was she menstruated for in a day or some hours. If you want to calculate it, it means that there is 13 days within what? Each of the haid. Are we getting the concept? In a month, 3 menstruation. It means that there is 13 days within what? In between what? Each of the haid. Do we understand? If you menstruate, maybe she menstruated today and it stopped. Within a month, she now count 13 days from that day. Maybe she menstruated on the 1st. She menstruated on the what? On the 1st. And that menstruation actually stopped on that what? On the 1st. I hope we are getting it. Now we calculate from second to where now? To what? On the 14th. Isn't it? She now sees another blood again on that 14th. And the blood stopped again. So you calculate 13 days again. From that 14, it will be what? 20 what? 27. I hope you are getting it. So on that 27, she saw another what? Another blood and it stopped. That means she has menstruated within a month. How many times? Do we get this analysis, Kwa? Do we get it? Please, I want us to understand it. Do we understand? That means this woman menstruated for what? 3 times in a month. And the interval is what? 13 days. So this was some of the scholars, like the Hanabila scholars, they said what? The interval between a menstruation to another menstruation is what? 13 days. But the medical doctor will tell you that it's 15 days. Am I correct? Fadila. Am I correct? May Allah continue. She's not a wife of a doctor is also a doctor. May Allah continue to guide us. Now, the second school of thought, Ash-Shafi'iyya, they said Muddatut Tuhur 15 yawman. The period is what? 15 days. They are in conformity with what? The medical doctor. Do you know why? But it's not because of the medical doctor, because of the hadith that the Prophet said, Aqallu ma bayna al-haydatayn 15. The least purification, the least what? Period of purification between what? 2 menstrual blood is what? 15 days. But this hadith is not what? Authentic. When I say this hadith is not authentic, I'm not the one that said it's not authentic. Do we understand? I don't have the power to say this is not authentic. It's the scholars. Do we understand? To the Malikiya, they said they differ. Among the Malikiya, they differ. Some of them say it's 10 days. Some of them said it's 8 days. Some of them said إذا رأت المرأة الدم ولو لحظة ثم انقطع فإنها تعتبر طائرة إلى أن ترى الدم الثانية. If a woman sees a blood, if she sees blood, even for a second and the blood stop, a woman sees a blood, even for a second, within a second the blood stop, that woman will be considered to be what? A pure person. Do you understand? Until she now sees another what? Blood. So that means if she sees a blood within a second and she became what? Pure. Do we understand? The next day she now sees another blood. That day will be counted as what? Another day. It will be counted as a second menstrual, cycle. I hope we are getting it. May Allah continue to guide us. The Malikiya, they went with the view of, the Hanafiya, they went with the view of the Malikiya. They and the Malikiya, they actually are of the same view regarding this particular matter. So now, which one is the most superior opinion? Which one is the most superior opinion? The least period. Which one? 13. 13 is the one that my teacher actually considered. People differ. Like we said, scholars actually what? Differ. Do we understand? But because of the evidence, among all this now, we were able to produce what? Evidence. From who? From the pious predecessor, from a Sahabi, Ali ibn Abi Talib, who do not actually contradicted the judgment of what? Of Shurayh. He was the one that even asked Shurayh to what? To pass what? Judgment. Do we understand? Wallahu ta'ala a'la wa a'la. Naam. The Sheikh said there is also another statement of Albani that is what? Is 3 days. I hope you are getting the concept. Wallahu ta'ala a'la wa a'lam. But what is I'm more convinced with is that 13 days because of the evidences that actually that came. Have we gotten this particular chapter, this particular section? Please, before we continue, at what age can a woman start menstruating, or can a lady start menstruating? It's not precise, thank you. But there is ittifaq among the scholars that is 9. Even though it's not what? It's not precise. There is no specific what? Day. Do we understand that? Good. Then what about the age of menopause? It's not specified. Good. What if a woman sees, yellow color of blood before a menstrual period? She sees yellow or brown or any other color before a menstrual period. Is it haid? So what if she sees it during a menstrual period? What if she sees it after she has purified? Barakallahu fikum. Now, what is the duration of haid? What is the duration? How many days? What is the duration of haid? No, the maximum and the minimum. What is the maximum? 15 days. Is it a general statement? No, we say 15 days for what? 15 days for a woman whose habitual is less than what? 15 days. I hope you are getting it. But a woman that started with 17, the maximum is not what? It's not 15. I hope you understand this. Good. Likewise, a woman whose blood actually stopped as a result of what? Maybe just like that, the blood stopped for a complete month or 2 months or so. So what is our own maximum period? If the blood comes throughout the month, are we going to say that she should count 15 days and relax? No, we'll say she's considered all as what? Menstrual blood. If they have the features of what? Menstrual blood. And what are the features? Black, thick, offensive odor, and it does not coagulate on what? Barakallahu fikum. Now, we are going to look at women in terms of menstruation. Women in terms of what? Women in terms of menstruation, they are divided into what? Into 4. Women in terms of menstruation, they are divided into how many? Into 4. Are we getting this message? Number 1 is a woman, a beginner, mubtada, a beginner tumayyizu yani alwana dam wa sifati, a beginner that can actually differentiate the colors of blood, the colors of the blood. A beginner that can differentiate the color of what? Of blood. Please take note of this, it's very important. A beginner that can differentiate the color of what? Blood. Meaning that what? The haid flows with her for what? How many days? For 5 days with a specific what? Futures. Or with specific futures. After these 5 days, it now what? It now change. I hope we are getting it. You can see that this one can identify what? The blood. But the second type is a beginner who cannot actually, she cannot differentiate her blood. A woman just started haid. She just started what? Haid today. The blood that came today is a black one, with all the features we have mentioned. The second day, the same feature. The third day, the same feature. The fourth day, the same feature. The fifth day, the same feature. The sixth day, the same feature. The seventh day, the same feature. The blood then continued on the 8th day with another feature. It continues like that till the end of the month, so that it doesn't stop except few in a day or 2 days. So this woman, she's going to work with what? That future. I hope you are getting. She's going to work with what? That future. Which future now? The futures of what? Menstruation. So any blood she now sees without that do not have any of those features, she will not consider it as haid. She will consider it as istihada. Do we understand? But the worst part is a beginner that do not have differentiation. The way the blood came, that is how it kept on what? Flowing with her. This one, she's in trouble. Do we understand? Because how will she differentiate? How will she what? Differentiate. So please take note of this. Then we also have one who has habitual, one who already has what? Habitual, and she can differentiate what? Between the blood. She already has habitual, and she can also differentiate between what? The blood. She has habitual. Habitual is 5 days. Do we understand? Habitual is what? 5 days. And she knows the nature of blood that is to come to her. So after that 5 days, on the 6th day, just like that, something happened. She now started seeing blood. And this blood do not have the future of what? The blood she used to see. She will work with her habitual. Then we have somebody that has habitual, but he cannot differentiate the blood. She has habitual, but she cannot differentiate what? The blood. Take note of this. We mentioned 4 types of women. A beginner that can differentiate blood. A beginner that cannot differentiate blood. A woman with habitual that can differentiate blood. A woman without habitual that cannot what? This one is very important. If you don't know it, you will not know the next topic. The next topic is what we call, change in state. Change in state of what? Menstrual flow. Change in state of what? Menstrual flow. Meaning, you used to see your menses at the beginning of what? Of the month. It now changed to the end of what? The month. Do we understand? Your hide used to come at the end of the month. It now changed to the beginning of what? Your hide used to be 5 days. It now changed to how many days? 7 days. Do we understand? So the scholar said the change in state on hide, on menstrual flow, is of various types. The first one is addition on the habitual. Addition on what? On the habitual. And hold this principle. There's a principle. There's a principle here. Every addition is hide. For kullu ziyadatin fahuwa hide. Kullu ziyadatin fahuwa hide. Every addition that comes to your habitual is considered to be what? Hide. إذا كان الدم على صفته. If the blood remains on what? On the features of menstrual blood. So if your habitual is 5 days, on the 6th day you now saw a blood that is thick, or a blood with offensive odor, or a blood that does not coagulate on time, that blood is what? Hide. You not say, no, my own is 5 days. I hope you understand. Then the second type is an-nuqsan. That is reduction from the habitual day. This is another qaida again. Kullu naqsin tuhur. Every reduction is what? Is purification. You used to observe hide for how many days? 5 days. And your own hide used to end with white discharge. On the 4th day, you saw the word white discharge. Don't say, no, I must wait till that period. You have become what? Pure. At that period, you go and pray. This is what we call change in state. The third one is, it used to come at the beginning of the month. It used to come at the beginning, at the end of the month. Now, it came at the beginning of the what? It's hide. You will sit down, you will not pray. Do we understand? You will not pray, you will not observe what? Fasting. The fourth one is, it used to come at the beginning, it's now delayed. You know that your hide used to come on the 6th of April, or on the 6th of every month. But on the 6th, you didn't see any blood. I hope you are getting. You cannot say so. Hence, it has been my habitual that every 6th it used to come. I'll wait. You not pray, you not fast. I hope you are getting it. No, you will do everything until what? You see the blood. Do we understand? So the fifth one is the returning of the blood during the period of what? Of hide. After it has what? It has stopped. This one, there is serious you used to observe what? Your hide 5 days. Now on the 3rd day, the hide, it stopped. It did what? It stopped. On the 4th day, or on the 5th day you saw it. Now what will happen to this woman? You are going to use differentiation method. You are going to use what we call what? Differentiation method. You know, you already know your blood. You already know the nature of what? The blood. So you are going to judge on it based on the differentiation of what? Based on the nature of the blood. Do we get it? Do we understand? May Allah continue to guide us. The 6th one is a woman who sees blood a day and she becomes pure the next day. Do you understand? Today she sees blood, tomorrow there is no blood. Next tomorrow she sees blood. Do you understand? Maybe after 2 days again, the blood will stop for 2 days, it will come back again. So this woman, what will be her own nature? What is her own situation? What is her condition? The scholars differ regarding her matter. The scholars differ regarding what? Her matter. The first view, they said that the blood for Dammu hide. The blood is considered to be what? Hide. And that period that is stopped, she's considered to be what? To be pure. Because they said there is a principle that said Al-Hukmu Yaduru Ma'a Illatihi Wujudan Wa Adama. The ruling revolves around what? The reason. When the reason is present and when the reason is what? Is absent. I hope you are getting it. So what is the ruling of menstrual period? Menstrual blood. When the blood what? Comes. What is the ruling that a woman is purified? When the blood actually what? Stops. So this is why they said what? That period, that day that she saw the blood, she's what? Menstruating. The next day that the blood stopped, she's what? Pure. Meaning, if she now sees the blood the 3rd day, is another what? But the scholar said there is going to be mashakka. Al-mashakkatu tajlibu taysir. Because she will keep on taking bath. I hope you are getting it. I hope you are getting it. She will keep on taking bath. These scholars, they are saying that Allah said, when Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, when Allah said, the Prophet was asked about menstruating woman. Allah said, tell them that what? She's dead. So fa'tazilin nisa, what it is death. Fa'tazilin nisa fi al-mahid. Go away from what? The women while they are observing what? Their menstrual period. Allah then said what? Wala taqrabuhunna hatta. You can see, do not go close to them until they are what? So now this woman is pure. I hope they are getting the concept. So as long as the blood is still there, that death is there. If the blood is no longer there, the death is what? Is lifted up. So this is their own what? This is their own view. So she will keep on taking bath. The scholars then said no. وَمَا جَعَلَ اللَّهُ عَلَيْكُمْ فِي الدِّينِ مِنْ حَرَجٍ يُرِيدُ اللَّهُ بِكُمُ الْيُسْرَ وَلَا يُرِيدُ بِكُمُ الْعُسْرَ. Allah wants ease for each and every one of us. Allah do not want difficulty, stress upon us, for us. Do we understand? So as such, this particular view is not the most superior view. Because of the mashakka, the difficulty. If she is pure today, she will take bath. Tomorrow again that she sees the blood, she will relax. Next tomorrow she will take bath. She will keep on what? The second view said that purity, that purification, that purity that she saw, will not be considered. It will not be considered as what? Do you know why? Because she is still within the period of her menstruation. Do we understand? She's not what? She's not completely pure, either by that place being dried or by what? White discharge. So that purification is not considered to be what? I hope we understand. Because Aisha said, do not hasten to purify until you see what? White discharge. Do we understand this? Please, are we getting it? So now, which one is the correct opinion between these two? We'll say it's menstrual blood. Until she now sees either, how she used to end her menstrual blood. If she now sees, those signs, then she will not consider it to be what? To be hide again, as we have explained. Are we getting it, Kwa? Jama, are we getting it? Once upon a time, in fact, there was a masjid there was one masjid, the imam of that masjid, if he's praying, subhanallah, in fact, people don't used to pray behind him. Some people, if they are going to pray in the masjid and they discover that it's that imam that is leading, they will first of all think about eating. If they have not eaten, they will go to another masjid. I hope you are getting it. Some people even think that, am I not stressed? Am I okay? If I'm okay, they will go. If they are not okay, they will not. Why? Because if the imam start praying, he can spend like 30 minutes in one rakah reciting. After recitation over like 30 minutes, he will now go to ruku. He spend like 30 minutes again in the ruku. So one day, he was leading prayer. Do we understand? He took a verse, almost 8 pages. In the 9th page, he forgot a particular ayah. He will go back and come. He will go back and come. He will go back. So one of the Ma'mum then said, Ar-Ruku'. He said, yeah, meaning it's not the verse that you forgot. What you forgot is Ruku'. I just want to bring us back to our class. May Allah continue to guide us. So we are on the what? The 9th type of what? This particular change is the change of color. Is the change of what? Color. From black to what? To yellow. Or what? Or cloudy color. Or even dusty color. Or brown. And like, we have said it. That this color, they have their what? Like brown now. Do we understand? Brown, it has what? It has its effect. The medical doctor will tell you, although it's not from a medical doctor, I had it, it's from a book written on this matter and written by a medical doctor. We say that it's a sign of sickness. If a woman's private part is actually, closing. So in a menstrual period, she'll be observing this brown what? Discharge. Do we understand? It is because of time we will not be able to analyze even yellow, when the blood is yellow, when the blood is black, when the blood is what? It's red. May Allah Ta'ala continue to guide us, inshallah. For those that the second edition of this book will carry it, inshallah Ta'ala. So now, this particular change of blood, if it comes during Haid, you habitually 6 days. On the 3rd day, you saw that the blood changed from black to what? To yellow, or any of this color. It is considered as what? As Haid. Do you understand? If it comes before the Haid, it's not considered as what? Because of the author of Atta. If it comes after purification again, it's not considered as what? Haid. So when the blood will be considered as Haid, is when what? Within what? The period of Haid. Are we getting the concept? We cited evidence with the hadith of the author of Ummu Atiyya in Sahih Bukhari, Sunan Ibn Majah, Abu Dawud and Nasa'i. Now, when will a woman become purified from Haid? When can we say that this woman is pure? When can we say that this woman is what? Is pure? A woman becomes pure, in 2 ways. By what? 2 ways. Number one is when that place is dried, meaning when she put cloth or handkerchief on her private part and she brings it out what? Dried. She's what? She's pure. Do we understand? She's pure. The second one is when she sees what? White discharge. When she sees what? White discharge. Do we understand? So these are the 2 ways. Wallahu ta'ala a'la wa a'lam. And there are some women who used to see yellow discharge. Do we understand? So that yellow discharge, it marks that what? Their own, their period, their signs of purification is what? Is yellow discharge. So if they see that yellow discharge, they are what? They are pure. Do we understand? Wallahu ta'ala a'la wa a'lam. Now, finally, what are the? No, this is not the end. What are the rules governing a woman that is menstruating. The rules governing a woman that is what? Menstruating. Number one is that she will not observe what? Prayer. She will not observe prayer. Number two, she also not observe what? Fasting. Why? Why won't she observe prayer? Because of the hadith, the answer of Aisha. When a woman asked Aisha a question that what is the matter with the menstruating women that they used to pay back their what? They used to make up their fastings, but they don't make up their what? Prayer. Aisha then asked her that are you from Haruriya? Are you from a place where the Khawarij is a place where the Khawarij is the center of the what? The Khawarij. Do we understand? Because the Khawarij, they are the one that have this opinion. I hope you are getting the concept. They are the one that have this opinion that a woman that is menstruating, she will pay back her fasting, she also pay back her what? Her prayer. Are we getting the concept? Are we getting the concept? Now, so Aisha said it used to happen to us like that. The Prophet used to command us to pay back the fasting, but he doesn't command us to pay back what? Prayer. That means they used to stay for fasting and what? Prayer. They don't fast, they don't what? Pray. Do we understand? Then at tawaf bil bayt, she cannot perform what? Tawaf, circumambulation. She cannot circumambulate. Any of the tawaf, she cannot do it. I hope we understand. Then her husband also cannot copulate with her. It's haram. And she cannot be divorced while she's in the state of what? Her menstruation. Then the period of her divorce is considered, her waiting period is considered with what? Menstruation. Oh? So that's why we say it's not 3 months, it's 3 menstrual what? Cycle. Then can she carry the Quran, the Mus'haf or not? This one is a matter of dispute. Do we understand? Some of the scholars, they said because Allah said لا يمسه إلا الماذا مطهرون. So because of this verse, Allah said no one will touch it except those that are pure. Because of this verse, some of the scholars said it is haram for a woman that is menstruating to hold what? Mus'haf. But if you take Umdat al-Fiqh of Ibn Qudama, they said that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is giving information here. Allah is not prohibiting. He said la yamassuhu. And if Allah is prohibiting, Allah would have said la yamassuhu. He should not touch it. Illa al-mutahharun. Except what? Those that are pure. That is number one. Then number two, al-mutahharun. Majority of the scholars of tafsir agree that is referring to who? The angels. Do you understand? It's not what? Human. But somebody will not say, there is a hadith that the Prophet said, La yamassal Qur'ana illa tahirun. No one should touch the Quran except that person that is what? Pure. Some of the scholars said this hadith is not authentic. Why? Some of the scholars said it's authentic. But Al-Allama Nasr al-Sunnah in Fatawa fil Imara wal Madina, that is compiled by Amr ibn Abdul Mun'im. Al-Allama Nasr al-Sunnah, he said that a believer is not pure, is not impure. Abu Hurairah was in the state of sexual impurity. When he saw the Prophet ﷺ coming, he dodged. Do you understand? Because he does not want to shake the Prophet in that particular state. So the Prophet was searching for him. Later when he came, the Prophet said, I thought I saw you when I was coming. He said, yes. I dodged because I do not want to shake you while I'm in the state of what? The Prophet then said, Innal mu'min la yanjus. Innal mu'min, even though he was in the state of what? Sexual impurity. The Prophet said a believer does not become what? Impure. So a woman too in the state of, a menstrual period does not become what? Impure, so that she cannot touch what? The Mus'haf. I hope you are getting it. So guys, what I'm more convinced with, the superior, what I'm more convinced with is the view of those scholars who said that she can touch what? The Mus'haf. If you go to our Malikiya, if you go to Akhdari, they said she can touch juz, a section of the Quran, but she cannot touch the entire word. Quran. But there's a qaida that the scholars say, hukumul juzhi, hukumul kulli. The rule governing a part is the rule governing what? The entire. That's why they takfir the Ahmadiyya. Because they said they disbelieve in a part of the Quran. I hope they are getting the concept. So the rule governing a part is the same rule governing what? The entire. If they can touch the part of the Quran, why can't they touch the entire Quran? The part of the Quran, why is it that you are saying they should not touch the part of the Quran? Is it not because the Quran is the word of Allah? What about the part? You said they should not touch the complete one because it's the word of Allah, isn't it? What about the part? Is it not also part of the word of Allah? So if they can touch it, they should be able to touch. I hope we understand. Now also entering the masjid for a woman that is menstruating. This one there is serious argument. There is what? Serious argument. Serious argument. Do you understand? That some of the scholars who went to the... In fact, some of the scholars even used the evidence of this, what you call tawaf. Because the tawaf was inside the masjid. That's why the Prophet said she should not do what? Tawaf. So a woman that is menstruating should not enter the masjid. This is the view of some of the scholars. And some of the scholars said, no, there was Sauda, the Prophet actually tied her in the masjid for 6 months. It's not possible for her not to observe menstruation. I hope you are getting the concept. So there is dispute today among the scholars. What is better is that if you don't have anything to do in the masjid, don't enter the masjid. Do you understand? What is better? But if you want to come and learn, Wallahu ta'ala alam, I'm convinced with those scholars who said you can enter the masjid. Wallahu ta'ala alam. May Allah continue to guide us. Another ruling again is that she will take what? What we call ritual bath. What you call what? Ritual what? Bath. So this ritual bath is obligated. You must. A woman who is purified must take what? Ritual bath. So how do you take this ritual bath? How do you take this what? Ritual what? Bath. You get water. You get what? So the scholars say water is divided into 4. There are 4 types of water. الدكتور بكر ابن إسماعيل in الفقه الواضح من الكتاب والسنة على المذاهب الأربع. He mentioned that water is divided into what? 4. You know, in English language water does not have plural, but in Arabic language it has. They call it al-miyah. Why? Because of the differences of the water. That's why they call it. We have water that you can use for domestic purpose and you can use it for ibadah. When I say ibadah, I mean you can use it to perform ablution, you can use it to take ritual bath. We have water that you can use for ibadah, you cannot use it for domestic purpose. We have water that you cannot use for domestic purpose. Sorry, you can use for domestic purpose, you cannot use for what? Ibadah. Sorry, let me start again. We have water that you can use for domestic purpose, you can use it for ibadah. We have water that you can use for ibadah, but you cannot use it for domestic purpose. We have water that you can use for domestic purpose, but you cannot use it for ibadah. We have water that you cannot use for ibadah, and also you cannot use it for what? Domestic purpose. Now, which water is that water that you can use for ibadah, you can use for domestic purpose? Water that is pure and purifying. So which one is the water that is pure and purified? That water that is odorless, colorless, and what? You can use it for ibadah, you can use it for what? You can also use the water, you can use water for ibadah. I mean, there's water that you can use for ibadah, but you cannot use it for what? Domestic purpose. The fuqaha, they dislike that you should use such water for domestic purpose. It's water that has little amount of impurity, such that the impurity has not overcome any of the features of the water. Are we getting the concept? If urine drop in a water, that it does not affect the color, it does not affect the taste, it does not affect the odor, you can use that water for ablution. You can use it to take ritual bath, but you cannot use it to cook food. The fuqaha says you should not use it to cook what? Food. Are we getting it? So we also have water that you can use for what? Domestic purpose. You cannot use it for what? Ibadah. Is that water that is mixed with what? Something that is pure. When you pour cowbell and Milo inside water, you will not call it water again. Either you call it tea water. Do you understand? Or something water. So this one you can drink it. You can drink the tea, but you cannot use it to perform what? Ablution or ritual bath. Do we understand? Then we have water that you cannot use for domestic purpose. You cannot use it for what? Ibadah. Which one is that water? That water that is what? it has been overcome by impurity. And one of its features, or all of its features, have been overcome by what? Impurity. So now, which water can you use for ritual bath? This ritual bath, among these 4 types of water mentioned. The 2 types. Barakallahu fiqh. The 2 types. The one that you can use for ibadah and domestic purpose, and the one that you can use for ibadah, you cannot use for domestic purpose. So now, when you get this water, as a woman that is taking menstrual bath, you are going to get what we call lot 3 leaf. Lot 3 what? Leaf. Hadith of Aisha. Lot 3 leaf. So this lot 3 leaf is going to serve as a detergent for you. You mix it in a water so that it foams. So you get that lot 3 leaf. Then you get your own what? Pure, and this water that we just mentioned. Do we understand? Then you start by what? Washing your arm, your palm. You know, when we say wash your palm, it means that you are going to wash your palm and exceed your wrist a little bit. You start in between your fingers. Do we understand? And exceed. You start by, when you pour water on this hand, you wash this one first. This is the right hand. Kana yu'jibuhu tayammun. The Prophet ﷺ, it used to amaze the Prophet to start with what? With right. All the narrator, all the companions, there are 18 companions that reported hadith on how the Prophet performed ablution. And this is the way they reported. 18 companions, for that matter, respected ones. 18. And the scholar said the narration that is more authentic are just 3. Do we understand? Abu Huraira reported hadith. Aisha reported hadith, Muawiyah reported hadith, Ali ibn Abi Talib reported hadith, Uthman ibn Affan reported hadith, Abdullah ibn Zayd reported hadith, and also Abdullah ibn Umar, Abdullah ibn Amr, Al-Mikdam ibn Ma'adi Karib, Al-Mughira ibn Shu'ba, Anas ibn Malik, Jabir ibn Abdullah, Wa'il ibn Hujr, and also Abdullah ibn Yazid, Abdullah ibn Yazid, and Ar-Rubay bint Mu'awwidh. All these are companions that reported hadith on how the Prophet performed ablution. Do we understand? And among all these reporters, 3 are the authentic. The riwayah of Ali ibn Abi Talib, the riwayah of Uthman ibn Affan, and the riwayah of who? The riwayah of Abdullah ibn Zayd. So among these 3 narrations, again, the most authentic one is the riwayah of Uthman ibn Affan. I hope you are getting the concept now. So the Prophet started by washing what? His right hand. When you wash this your right hand, when you are done, you not fetch another water again. You now navigate to where? To the left. You did that how many times? 3 times. When you have, if you have successfully done that, you cannot dip your hand into where? Into the vessel. When you dip your hand into the vessel, you pour water on where? On your private part. You can even follow it with that sidr. Use it to wash. You know, it's not good that you use detergent. If you use detergent, is dangerous to your health, women. Do you understand? You can use that sidr water and, you know, you rub through that place, wash it thoroughly, then you now perform ablution. This your ablution must be in conformity with the riwayah of Uthman ibn Affan, or any of these 3 we mentioned. I hope we are getting it now. You perform ablution the way you perform ablution for what? Prayer. You fetch water, you sip it, go. The remnant on your hand. When you sip that water, it's not that you just put it in your mouth and throw it away. No. When you put it in your mouth, you run it. That's what they call mudmada. You will run it through what? Through your mouth. You move it around your mouth, then you pour it. The remaining one on your hand, you do what? You inhale it with your what? Right hand. The riwayah of Ali said you use your left hand to do what? To exhale. So you do that simultaneously. If you like, do it 1 time. If you like, do 2 times or what? When you are done with that, you now wash your face. Your face, you now wash it with 1 hand. You wash it with 2 of your hands. And your face, you know, it's not that you just pour water and wash it like this. Or lie. If you see where scholars are performing ablution, I said in Kaduna, one of our scholars, may Allah forgive him, they call him Sheikh Muhammad Bello Al-Adamawi. He used to treat Sifatul Wudu and Nabi in a masjid. I used to attend that majlis. The day he finished that book, I want to tell you that 85% of us that used to attend that class, we are students of knowledge. But when Sheikh finished, Sheikh came out to perform ablution, practical aspect. Wallahi, we were not asking ourselves that will Allah accept our prayer. Do we understand? So in washing your face, you start from your forehead, and this place, this your hand, you must make sure that you search it, you actually scrub this particular place and what? This particular what? Place. Your face from here to all this place like this, to this place, you must wash them. With your what? 2 hands. You are searching like this, like this. The hadith in Sahih al-Bukhari actually indicated that. Do we understand? When you are done with that, you now go to where? Your hand. In Arabic, when they say hand, it means from this place to where? To here. But in the terminology of Quran, when they say hand, it means from here to here. Do you understand? In the language of Quran, if they say hand, it means from here to where? That's why when Allah came to tell us to wash our hand to the elbow, He said, وَأَيْدِيَكُمْ إِلَى الْمَرَافِقِ. But when He came to describe to us tayammum, He said, وَأَيْدِيَكُمْ مِنْهُ. He just said, your hands. Do you understand? So the scholar said, according to the terminology of Quran, if they say hands, what it means from here to here. Do we understand? But in Arabic language, it's from this place to where? To this place. So now, when you want to wash your hand to the elbow, where do you start from now? From this place again to where? To, you will not stop at your elbow, no. Elbow, I mean. You will not stop at what? Your elbow. You exceed your elbow a little bit. Because of the narration of either Abu Huraira, he said, "Hatta shara'a fil adud aw kama qala." He said, until the Prophet ﷺ entered his upper what? His upper arm. So you will not stop here. You exceed the elbow what? A little bit. You do that how many times? From here, you search in between your fingers too, like that. You take it to where? That place. You take it again to this place. You take this place. You do the same thing. If you like, do 3 times, 1 time, or what? 2 times. Do we understand? After that, you now take what? Water for your head. When you take water, it's not that when you fetch the water, you pour it away. No. As you just fetch the water, take it direct like that. From this forehead, from your forehead, you take it down to where? The back. Then you bring it again to where? But our mothers, you know, they will just do like this. You have not performed ablution. Do we understand? Then immediately you navigate. Immediately you what? To your ear. It's not, don't fetch another water. Although there is a riwayah like that, the riwayah of Abdullah ibn Umar, that is where the Malikiya also, that is the view of the Malikiya, what tajdidul ma. Do you understand? But the authentic riwayah that came, that is the riwayah, the most authentic riwayah, the riwayah of Uthman ibn Affan, you don't fetch another water again for what? For your ear. That same water you use in wiping your head is the same water you use. You put this your index fingers into what? You scrub them, you know, rigorously. Spontaneously and rigorously, you scrub them. Then you use this your thumb to what? To scrub the outer part of your head. Do we understand? Then you now go to wash your what? Your leg. Your leg, you start from the small finger. This small finger, you start from the small toe. You dip this finger into the what? Small toe. As you are pouring water, you exceed your wrist, your ankle a little what? A little bit. Do we understand? If you do that, you now wash your what? Your what? You not employ that sidr water again and wash your head rigorously. Do we understand? If you like, you now divide yourself into 2. Wash the right part downward, then the left part downward. You can go and perform ablution. You can go and observe your salat with this particular. I hope we understand. Do we understand? Do we understand it? So in our next class, before our next class, I want to give us assignment. There are 2 types of ritual bath. We have what we call sifatul kamal, and we have sifatul al-ijza. Now, can you use sifatul ijza? We have the complete one, which is part of which we have just explained. Part is part. We are going to look at what? Istihada, and there is also a change that I did not mention here. We are going to look at it. If a woman took pills, she took what? Some pills that stopped her menses. Now, if she starts menses,